Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. We've got Josh in here again today.
Hola.
And today we also have David Snyder. He is with Spot On. Now, Spot On is an accredited business, but they're accredited out of California. But he is local here, and he came in to talk to us about what you do and what Spot On is.
Oh, I thought I was just coming for the coffee.
We'll definitely give you coffee too, don't
Oh,
worry.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, our local office is right across the street from Better Business here. So yeah, we are local. We have a couple hundred locations that we're working with here as well. And Spot On is a technology provider. We work mostly with restaurants providing world-class point of sale systems. We got number one by NerdWallet, best overall POS system.
Wow.
Yay! And we got number one for best customer service from Capterra last year, which was pretty cool. So yeah, we're the warm and fuzzy guys
I
for
love
those kind of
it.
things. And because credit card is so important to point of sale systems, we offer that as well. But the cool thing is we're not like the other guys because it's a backbone to what we do, but it's not the big money maker that it is for others. So there's no contract with us.
Oh, wow.
There's no exit fee. We don't have a PCI test or compliance fee.
What is that?
Yeah, it's called payment card industry standard. Basically became a money grab, what I can see from most of the other providers, where they offer a test, 100, 200 questions, all asking, do you know it's not good to store customer information? And do you know it's not good to have your internet open to outside people to hack you? And once you answer all those questions, you're PCI compliant. But it's a way for them to charge for the test, or if you don't take the test, charge for not having it. I had a recent conversion where on one statement they had a PCI compliance fee, a non-compliant fee, and a service fee, and it was all basically the same thing. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
lovely.
yeah, yeah. And this
Oh,
is on top of the processing, which was higher than what we were charging as well. So anyway, the credit card can be a game with a lot of providers. We take away the mystery and the magic on it, make everything simple.
Transparency, I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so my parents have owned businesses for almost over 35 years now. And in the restaurants, one of the biggest pain in the butts, yeah, I said it,
Yeah, you
is
said it.
POS. And it had always been because my dad remembers a time when, you go to the ATM and you'd get cash and you'd pay cash and leave cash tip.
Mhm.
When all of a sudden there's in restaurants, you've got credit cards and debit cards. And they are the biggest pain for him. He hates them because of the fees.
Yep.
And he uses Toast. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yep,
Toast.
big competitor of ours.
Yes. And for him, he's like, well, what am I paying for every month?
Yeah, and Toast, which is a great product. The person who started it came from Micros and started CloudFormation, a restaurant point of sale system, simplified things, and never badmouth anybody because it's what they do is really cool. Where they're having issues that I'm able to take advantage of is beginning of COVID, for instance, they laid off 50% of the workforce.
Really?
And then just a little bit ago, they laid off more people because over the last 15 years, they've got all this venture capital that needs to get paid back now that they're public as well. They need to be profitable, and they have not become that entity that's profitable paying back the venture capitalists. So they're trying to find ways to get money or save money. So cool thing is, we've never been in that situation. So once again, no contract. We don't need to hold you accountable to us if we raise your fees and you can't go anywhere. Yeah. And the customer service part's been really huge. So even though they have and others have really good formats, being able to negotiate through it sometimes is difficult. Having issues, whether it's equipment issues or how do I organize things, we have people to hold hands all the time, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
And that's becoming a rare uh, commodity in other venues where some people are waiting hours, days, weeks to get service, and we're able to do it very quickly, which is nice.
Awesome.
So yeah. And The other thing we do is, because we're progressive and we're always developing, we've actually bought other companies to enhance ourselves, which is different than other people that just do third party integrations.
Yeah.
So we bought a group called Davo, pays taxes automatically because all the information's on the system.
Wow.
So your local, city, county, state taxes, never late, always on time. We have another company we purchased called Dolce that we call Teamwork now, and that's being sold to these other third parties that we talked about and others. You pay a little bit less with us because we own it, of course, but it's our integration. So that's for scheduling tip outs 100 different ways, some other stuff. So stuff to simplify your day. We give hours back to the owners and the managers to do other things, which is nice.
Yes, it is nice.
Yeah. So just everything a little bit simpler, a little bit easier. That's the only way that we can differentiate ourselves from everybody else. And that's what we've been trying to do locally. And then for the credit card part of it, like I said, we've got, I'm sure they won't mind, I'll throw a couple under the bus. Fastest Labs, Kim is using us and appreciate her business. Janice at Cliff Inn up on Mountain Road, beautiful venue. So places you wouldn't think of, print shops, doctors, automotive places, because it's a simpler, easier product.
Yeah.
And even on the credit card side, there's no extra charge. We have a virtual terminal for recurring payments, even, or invoicing. It's included. Mobile app. So you're out in the field doing tires and batteries, The restaurant software or redundancies are really nice because we have a trip over, your internet goes out and you're still up because we're using a cellular backup function.
Really?
Yeah. So we got all kind of cool stuff like that, and the handhelds that we have all come with SIM cards. I don't believe our competitors do that. So if you do lose the internet, you lose power.
Yeah.
You can still be up and running. I can take my handheld. I'm doing a venture in California. I go across the country. I'm still connected to the system. We can do individual menus for the different handhelds or the different terminals in a building. So if the venues are a little different, we can make things specific for them. So yeah.
I can't tell you
Slice and dice.
what a pain in the butt it was when my dad renovated our restaurant in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Last summer, he finished the final renovations.
Cool.
And of course, opening day, the first 2 weeks were an absolute nightmare because internet wasn't working half the time. And of course, they had new POS. And so everybody was trying to learn it. And when you don't have internet, your POS isn't working. It was just a nightmare. And what made matters worse was that my sister, who is the manager next to my dad, was out of the country with me.
No.
And so that in and of itself, my sister was like, I can't even enjoy my time away because I'm worried about everything that's going wrong over there. Had she known about this, she probably would have been like, I don't have a care in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of stress. It is. And for hospitality, I mean, the face you put on for that customer, you can't afford a bad experience.
Nope.
So yeah, we're there stressing with you. The other cool part about us, which is a different tone also, is the board of directors. Instead of being finance guys and IT guys, all our board of directors are chefs or restaurateurs. So this is all the toys they want.
So they get it.
They
get it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying we're the warm and fuzzy guys.
It's really hard to find, first of all, a company like yourself that's accredited. And second of all, to have a company that's backed up by board of directors, by employees who really understand the industries that they're working for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a tech company, but when you stop and you think about all the industries that you guys are inside of, you got to understand the ins and outs of it, right?
Right. Exactly.
I just like how you took the time to kind of delve into the weeds to pretty much simplify what's going on, make it easier for the other person, such as like the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you guys really did fill in those gaps of needs that the industry had. And I feel like a lot of places kind of glossed over it, whereas you guys were like, okay, but this is still a problem. So we need to fix it. And this is how we're going to fix it.
And then what I've seen in the dozens of providers of this kind of stuff is that once they get bought up, and there's some really big players that buy up a lot of little players, the development stops.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much a fire drill. Something bad happens. How do we fix it? And that's kind of where it dies. And that's where a lot of them seem to be. So the cool part for me when they got me to come on board was I've been able to know that everybody's trying as hard as they can to do better. And every year there's a big plan to do even better.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep going, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. How can people get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I'll freely put out there, I've had the same cell number I've had for decades that the wife and kids use, and everybody attacks me with it, 804-690-6080. Number again, for those of you out of state, 804-690-6080. And my email is my name spelled out, David Snyder at spoton.com. And Snyder is S like Sierra, N like November, Y like Yankee, D like Delta, E like Echo, R like Romeo. So
Love it.
that version. Snyders are like the German Smiths. There's millions of us in all different versions.
That's okay.
Yeah.
People always get confused when I tell them my last name and they're like, so is it 2 words or 1? I'm like, no, Kara George, 1 word. That's it.
You got me beat.
Well, thank you, David, for coming in. Thanks, Josh, for joining us.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure having you in here as well. You're less of a talker than Barry is, so it's nice that
Time for a cup of coffee. Okay.
time for a cup of coffee. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure to follow us and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching the podcast. And if you're listening on Spotify, follow and leave a comment. We always love to hear feedback and to know what you guys love listening to. And I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, and this is BBB Sharing.
Go BBB, yay.